welcome to another episode of the Woolly Mastadon Creates podcast, episode 18. My name is Tori or Victoria, and welcome to this little piece of the internet. You can find me in several places on the internet, as I said before. You can find me on Instagram as Victoria Schwanke. You can find me on Ravelry as lilwestie, L-I-L-Westie. You can, of course, find me on the blog, woolymastodon.wordpress.com, as well as YouTube, and I'm occasionally active on Facebook. That's more so to just keep my friends and family who are on there updated with what I'm working on. Most active on Instagram, so check me out there, and I guess we'll just dive into it today. Before I get any further, I didn't say the date because it's Pi Day! And I'm so excited to keep saying that. Just such a fun day for all you math nerds out there who just really enjoy the little bit of a pun. I used to print out little pie symbols, not the dessert, and I would cut them out, and it took forever because I had designed like a little striped pie symbol, and I would just tape them up wherever I could. I did it when I was in college, and I even printed the same ones out and did it where I used to work in the north of the UP. And it was so much fun. So, you know, in that tangent, maybe I should also say I hail from just south of Madison in a town called Stoughton, Wisconsin. And yes, let's just jump into it. I'm super rambly. I have the house to myself today. Normally my husband is home when I record, but his work schedule switched a little bit, so now he is off at work and I am home, so have this place to myself. It's a little more quiet, but hopefully Midnight will wander in here if she hears me talking a little more. We will see. But let's just roll right into it. I do not have any FOs, and in fact a lot of the stuff I'm going to show today you haven't seen before. So I don't have any FOs. I haven't finished anything. I've been a little bit on the kick of casting everything on. I have Cast-on-Itis, so last weekend was the beginning of the Cast-on-Itis. I don't know if any of you watched my Instagram stories. I was picking yarn out to start some new projects because, guys, the designers on Ravelry have been coming out with the coolest patterns. I'm sorry, I've just got fiber everywhere. But the designers on Ravelry have been coming out with the coolest patterns, and I just want to cast them on, and they've been size inclusive. I'll just go into that ramble right away. A lot of designers are grading their pattern sizes up to larger sizes, which is fantastic because more often than not in traditional patterns, I either would be one size larger than they actually offered, or I would be the largest size, or I'd maybe just be able to get the largest size they have fit if I'm a little off on gauge or something. But now a lot of patterns are releasing a lot of pattern designers are releasing patterns in larger sizes, and it's really cool to see because actually the sweater I cast on this last weekend, I'm middle range on the size scale, which is mind-blowing for me because I'm never middle range. So it's really cool. It's really cool to see a lot of these designers doing that. So to those who are, thank you. You guys are awesome. And if you don't, you don't. I'm not gonna go chasing after you. It's okay. But I really do appreciate all those designers who are grading their patterns a little larger in size. You guys are awesome. So with that, rant aside, I have quite a few projects you guys have seen, and quite a few of those I haven't even worked on, so I'm not even going to show them, short of, I have them in this lovely bag. You've probably seen it before. A lady never discusses the size of her yarn stash. Fantastic bag. Love it to death. Got it from a very, very good friend up north, so we actually share birthdays when she gets to me. It was so cute. But anyway, I've got hedgehog mitts, and I've got a wave deck / bigger on the inside shawl. And I'm going to leave them in here because I have had zero progress on these because I've been super squirrely and I just wanted to cast on all the things, and I actually let myself do it. So I've got these sitting here. I haven't put any work on them. I want to remedy that this weekend, and as I go into the weekend, we'll go on. We'll get into a little bit more life lately at the end of the episode as always, but I want to get back into these. I have a little bit of a plan if things go as I think they will. And like I said, we'll get into that. But I'm not even going to touch on those Show notes are on the blog. If you're curious, you can see past episodes to see how far I am. Actually, 2 weeks ago, my last episode, that would be the last time I really touched those. So anything that I showed at that point, that's as far as I am. So there is that. The next project you have also seen would be my toe-up socks. And I think I've put maybe a couple rows in this. I'm not sure since I last showed it, so I'm going to show it anyway. I think I put some rows in. It's looking really tight. It is the right amount of stitches, but this is just a regular one of my toe-up socks, my vanilla pattern that I always use. Toe-up socks with a forethought afterthought heel because I can't remember the actual name for it. And I always have a sock cast on. I can bring it to work. I can knit on it on breaks and on my lunch. It's just really nice to have around. And I actually switched it back into my little pouch that I actually have a carabiner on. I don't know if you can see that, because I can just hook it onto a purse or something if it's small. And it's just really handy for travel. I need to make a few more of these because I love this pouch to death. I always use it. But anyway, I've been knitting on these socks. It's just, I'm knitting them on US 1 2.25 millimeter needles, and this is Patent Crochet sock in the blue stripe rag colorway. And I'm actually enjoying it. I didn't think these would be up my alley, but I bought the color anyway. It was on sale, and I'm like, you know, I've seen them before. I'm going to try it. I think these will be fun to have in my sock wardrobe. And they are actually knitting up tighter, which I didn't expect, so they'll be, I like a snugger fit on my sock, but I'm too lazy to adjust gauge for the yarn that I'm knitting with. So I think these will be really comfortable. But anyway, I thought I heard something. But anyway, that is my first work in progress. I think I have made progress on it since we last spoke. So that is the first one that I've worked on. Again, always have a sock on the go. Sometimes more than one, but I just have one going right now. Because it is essential to me. Essential travel knitting. Weird accent. Anyway, we'll set that aside. The next thing I wanted to show was, I'm pretty sure I've shown this in the past. This is Midnight's first blanket that I crocheted her. This first. Just a gigantic granny square with a tiny little single crochet border. If I hide behind it, maybe it'll focus. And obviously neon colors, and I love it. And it goes in her kennel if we're traveling. And it's also sitting on the back of my desk right now because I had to clear it off because that's Midnight's spot. If I want her to not be on my keyboard, she's got to have the back of the desk so she can crawl on there and sit and look out the window. And if I bribe her by opening the window a little bit, even better. But I have one blanket for her. That's it. No other ones. And the last time we took her on a trip, obviously she's a cat, and she did let us know she had a little accident, so we had to take her out of the kennel and clean her up, and I have a harness for her and a leash, so it's not as big of a deal, and she does wear them. She's used to it. Because by golly, I was going to get her used to a harness, just in case, which has worked out. So we had to pull off on the side of the road, and I was completely unprepared. Although I had stuff, I was able to MacGyver it to clean out her kennel, but I wasn't going to have her go back in it. So it was an awkward trip because we had to take turns holding on to her. She finally settled in and just slept in my lap. But again, I feel more comfortable knowing they're in a kennel. I feel like they're a little safer in there on a car trip. We may have ruined that with letting her sleep on our laps, but taking turns who's driving. But I realized I only have the one blanket for her, and it wouldn't hurt to just throw another one in the car too, just to have, because obviously that one had to get washed. So I'm making a few more. The next one I am crocheting, and I'm going to leave the dead yarn cake that's almost gone in the bag. That's what this project bag is now being used for, because it's exploded. It's one gigantic yarn barf. So we're just going to move on, but this color, it's so neon. It's stripes. It's amazing. I love it. I just love the neons. My husband has actually bought me 2 of these over the years. I'm going to use the second one on here as well in the bright stripe. I love it. It's me in a nutshell because it's burn your eyes out neon. And, oh, let's see if you guys can see. Yeah. It's crazy. But I love it. So I'm crocheting her another one. This is just a US H 5mm hook, 5mm crochet hook. I think it's a clover one. I purchased this before I got my Knit Picks set. Actually, I have it here. My Knit Picks case. I don't know if they still sell it, but I have all my crochet hooks in here. But they came with like all different size with the grippy handles. I obviously have more than that. Cute, all the needles in here, and then my, what I like to call dental tool needles are in the pockets on the side. But I love this thing. But I had gotten this hook beforehand, so I just kind of use it for blankets, because I can just, it's not part of a set, excuse me, I can just throw it in a bag and you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I'm crocheting on this. I always use, when I crochet granny squares, or just about any blanket with Red Heart Super Saver, I always use a H 5mm hook. I just like the gauge. I've tried other gauges, and I'm not going to lie, I'm partial to this one because this size is what I learned on. Thank you, Aunt Ruth. But this is the size that I learned on. This is not the same hook that I learned on. I have it. I have that hook. I will never get rid of it because that's the hook I learned with, and it's actually kind of my favorite still. But for long-term projects, this is hard to lose in a bag because it's got a grip. So I've been using that. And yeah, she's going to have another blanket. And along those lines, last week I was talking about a pattern or a blanket that I had banished. When I first started the podcast, it was banished on top of my IKEA shelf in our other apartment. Then it got banished into the closet, which is other side of the room here. And I think is her name Jenny? I apologize. I apologize for not remembering names. I'm horrible with names. But she suggested to take it apart and just sew this into small blankets, whether it be for midnight or to donate or to give to family and friends who have animals. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's ingenious. And I did an Instagram story of this. I had started these. I'm going to throw this down because this is full. I had crocheted these together, and it was a gigantic mess of a mesh. It was never going to be a blanket unless I filled the holes, and there was no way I was going to do it. So when I'm in the mood, they already had the black border on them. I'm just crocheting them into strips, and then I'm going to crochet the strips together. I apologize as I bend down. I think I have another one started, but they're these circles, and I'm kind of forcing them into squares, and I'm trying to be too perfectionist right now on this stuff, too perfect, and I just need to let go and just crochet them together into strips, crochet the strips together. I mean, an animal's not going to care if there's a little bit of bubble in the joining. Like, I don't care. It's a blanket. Especially like in the case of Midnight or my puppy back home. I mean, it smells like the person who made it, at least initially. That counts for a lot. So I have a ton of these. Ton of them. I don't remember how many there are. There's over 100. And I'm just going to start putting them together. Like, I'm going to start with a 3x3, so 9 circle, we'll say, because I'm trying to do the squares, but circle grid. And when I feel like it, I'm just going to crochet them together, and it'll feel nice to know that I'm not throwing out all this work, I'm not throwing out all this yarn, and it's not just sitting there. So thanks for the suggestion. If you guys ever have suggestions, please put them in the comments below, send me a message on Instagram, any of those things, and I will definitely go over it, because guys, I would never have thought of this. I don't know, I was just so mad at it. You know, you just get so mad at projects. I was so mad at it that I put it away and I didn't want to think about it. So someone with completely fresh eyes came in and gave me a genius idea, and now I can look at it again and I'm not as mad at it, and I feel good knowing I didn't waste materials, time, my money, other people's money, etc., etc. So all the way around good there. Okay, I'm back, hopefully in the somewhat of the same spot. Battery died. Of course it did. But I was talking about crochet blankets, just ideas and thoughts, works in progress. Where am I going back to? My last and kind of most exciting work in progress for this week is in this basket back here. You may recognize the basket from things I've shown in the past. You've probably also recognized the pencil case, which I've been using like none other all the time. But I cast on a new sweater. And actually I should pull the leftover skeins of yarn out so you can see it. But I cast on a new sweater. Long story short, I went in wanting to cast on, what is it called? Let's see, I wrote it down. The Shu Sui? I don't know how to pronounce it, I apologize. The S-H-U-S-U-I. Shu Sui? I don't know. Shrug. It's by Suzanne Summers. It's this amazing, it's basically a shawl with sleeves. So it holds the shawl on. And I'll try to remember to post a picture as I'm talking about it. But it's this crazy, like the sample that it's knit out of is like a neon colored shawl. It's just completely crazy. It's bright. I love it. And honestly, part of the reason why I loved it is because a lot of the samples were knit in like crazy colors, bright colors, but because it's a shawl and you put sleeves on it, I mean, who cares if it's crazy colored? All my shawls are crazy colored. Like, it was amazing. And she recently graded the size pattern up, so I'm mid-range now on there. It was fantastic. So I was going to buy the pattern and start knitting, because I had purchased a couple of years, 2 years ago now, I had gotten some sweater quantities of Knit Picks, is it Stroll? I don't remember. And I was like, oh, I could use that. Well, it's a shawl, Tori. It's a gigantic shawl. I didn't have enough yardage, and it preferably would have been in a couple different colors, which I did not have. I was okay with having a more neutral sweater, but the more I thought about it, what really drew me to the pattern was these crazy like colors. So we'll get into that later. Long story short, I didn't have the yarn for it, but I really, really wanted to cast on a sweater. So I went on Ravelry and I just started digging through my stash to see what I could use. And I need to use stash. I need to use up more. So I was like, oh, I have all this homespun. And actually the story behind a lot of this homespun is I have a bit just on my own accord. But I also have quite a bit because my mom liked it and she bought some, and we never decided on projects for it because we'd always find the new shiniest thing. And this was all in the basement, so Dad gave me the yarn. And I'm like, I need to knit something out of this. I have so much homespun. I have quite a bit. I actually have one more full sweater quantity of it if I wanted to use it. And then I have another 4 skein set. And this is bulky yarn. I mean, I'm normally not into bulky sweaters because of my normal size, body size. But I don't know, some of the designers are coming out with really cool patterns. The problem is this stuff is very, very textured, as you can see. And there's actually 2 different colors here. I don't know if you'll be able to see. My lighting is weird because it's cloudy outside and this room doesn't it gets light, but not the best for filming. But anyway, I don't know if you can see, but there's 2 different colors here. And I was like, maybe I should just look for a pattern to knit this out, knit with this. Because I was looking at patterns online, and one of the ones I had in my queue and Ravelry was a bulky pattern. So I looked at yardage, and lo and behold, 4 skeins of Lion Brand homespun should make the sweater, and one other person had knit it and completed it and posted pictures. Thank you. I don't remember who your name is, but I was looking on Ravelry project pages, and they had done it in this yarn. Granted, you lose quite a bit of the detail of the pattern because this is so slubby that it's textured. You lose some of the design. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Especially because this is a more affordable yarn. I don't know. I think it's still available. I haven't gone down a yarn aisle at like a Walmart in ages because it's dangerous to me. And I don't need more yarn. I shouldn't be buying it. And if I go down the yarn aisle at Walmart, I'm going to buy yarn. So, I haven't really gone down the yarn aisle at Walmart. So I don't know if this is still a thing. I think it is, guys. I should have checked before I started podcasting. But anyway, I had 4 skeins of this. And I just lost my card, which I guess it's going to stay down there for now. I found the Ursa sweater. It's a beautiful, as you can see, it's cropped. It's a beautiful cropped sweater. I don't know if I'll knit it that cropped. It depends on the yarn that's allowed. But I have had a few more sweaters that I have that are a little shorter. They're not like all the way down covering my butt, practically tunics, which is what I normally would wear. And I really like them. I like how they fit. And I actually own a couple pairs of like almost high-waisted jeans, thanks to Target. Thank you guys for updating your amazing work pants, as I call them. But I just really like the look. So I thought, you know what, even if it's over the top of a dress or over the top of a long shirt, because I'm not going to wear this over something short. No, that's way out of my comfort zone. I wanted to knit it. So I started, and this is kind of what's been taking up my time. I didn't get a lot of knitting done this week. Just in general, I had a lot of like different appointments and obligations, things I needed to get done, you know, taxes and the like. So I didn't get a whole lot of knitting time throughout the week, but last weekend and even some this morning I finally joined in the round. It doesn't look like much now. It's top down, so it really doesn't look like much right now. But I haven't divided for the I haven't divided for the sleeves yet, but I am working on the shoulder area. Is it Raglan Construction? I don't remember. I need to step up my game, guys. But this is what it's looking like. I don't know if you'll be able to tell. Yeah, you can tell that I'm striping the two different colors. 2 stripes of each color. But when you step back from it, I don't know if you can see. You maybe can't. I'll have to like take pictures of this and put it online. But it's beautifully marled, and it's actually striped, because the one yarn, I should tell you what colors I'm using, good grief. I'm using the colors Barley, and I am using the more bright color Prairie. Prairie is basically a striped color. It's got, you know, oranges and teals and purples in it. It's just right up my alley. So it's kind of striping, and it's really cool though, because it kind of just blends together because of the yarn. So you can see the stripe, but you know, is it a stripe? Is it just how the sweater is knitting up? It's cool. I'm really hoping this works out, because I'm knitting this on US 8, 5mm. This is by Jacqueline Cieslak. I'm so sorry. I can't pronounce names to save my life. But awesome pattern. I'm really getting into this because it's bulky yarn, which I never knit with just because bulky yarn plus size is supposed to be taboo, but this is really cute. And she's, whoops, oh, it's not flash pattern. She is absolutely adorable in this. Like, she looks so good in that sweater. Like, I want to look like her. So, I want to knit this. I've been working on it quite a bit, and you know, if I keep plugging away on this, this thing's going to be done in no time. Because it's bulky yarn. So that was what was taking most of my time. I've been blabbing for a long time. I think it's time to move on to upcoming cast-ons, which I kind of spoiled already. I want to cast on the usual socks for Dad and my husband, but then also I want to cast on that Shrug by Suzanne Summers. So I want to do that. And then also just, I have the yarn here because I was going to do it, but I'm holding off now for reasons. But I have this, I don't know if you can see, Peaches and Cream yarn. And it's black and orange striped. It's like different plies or different colors. And then a lime green and black. And I was going to crochet like a little bunting in granny squares and hang it up at my desk at work. Because my desk needs more color, and one of my coworkers started working from home, and she had a super colorful desk, but now that's kind of, until this virus thing goes away, it's just kind of blasé in there. There's nobody around. So I was gonna, you know, crochet and put this up. I've held off, we'll go over that later, but I've held off just because there's a chance I'll be, well, there's a chance I'll be working from home. So I've held off on working on that. So that would be another upcoming cast on if I do that. And Midnight may join us. We'll see if she jumps up. Yep, there she is. You behave though, sweetie. Ignore the reused Taco Bell cup in the background. I tend to, just since they're plastic, reuse them indefinitely and wash them because I feel bad it's plastic. But let's, I mean, since the opportunity is here, here is my sweetie Midnight Moon, who, according to her adoption paperwork, is probably going to be a year old tomorrow. She's going to be a whole year old. But she's super sweet. She loves to cuddle with me. And she follows me everywhere. And my husband thinks it's hilarious, but is also kind of jealous. And yeah, you're going to be one tomorrow. Have to celebrate. Yeah. She wants to take a nap on me, so I'm going to set her back on her blanket because I got to finish this podcast. Yes. Let's crack the window. Get your attention. There. All right. Cool. Might be a little noisier now, but she has her window to sniff, so keep her attention for a little bit. But with that, I'm actually going to move on to stash enhancements. By rights, I should not have any. But last Saturday, when I was looking through my yarn stash, I really wanted to knit the sweater I was telling my husband about the night before. I was so excited. I didn't have the yarn to knit it. And then I went on Knit Picks. And Knit Picks was having a sock yarn sale. Of course they were. Of course they were. So I talked to my husband, and he was just like, just order it. Like, just order the yarn. You can just do it. Like, this is ridiculous. Just order it. So I ordered the yarn. I shouldn't have justified it, but I did. So I've still got it in the box. It came this week. And I got 4 skeins of the Knit Picks Static, which is a new yarn. It's just a regular nylon fingering weight superwash wool nylon, so nothing fancy. But I got 4 of them in, what color is this? That's not that one. Oh my goodness, what color is this? Beanstalk. 4 of them in Beanstalk, which is this fantastic lime green teal color, which is me in a skein. And 3 of Taos, which is orange and like, see, it's offset of our wedding colors practically, because we didn't have orange, we had like a pink magenta color, but still, like, so pretty. And together, I'll admit, there's not a whole lot of contrast between the two. When you really check, if I did a black and white photo, there wouldn't be a ton of contrast, but I'm okay with that. I love it. And together, they're going to become that shrug sweater, that shawl sweater, which is going to be amazing. So I got enough to do that, minus 1 skein. There's 1 skein where you don't even use a whole skein and you do like an edging on the sweater. Like, I think it's an I-cord edging. I could be completely wrong. I haven't purchased the pattern yet. I just got enough to know how much yarn I would need. But I have enough single skeins of neon colored sock yarn in my stash that there was no reason for me to need to purchase that. I can certainly find something to go with this. So I didn't do that. But then, in order to get free shipping, because I didn't realize Knit Picks had upped their price to get free shipping now, I just got a couple skeins of Knit Picks Stroll Fingering. I got 1 in black, just nothing fancy. And then I got 1 in ash. And the reason behind these in single skeins is it's funny, they have different bands now. This is a new band. This is the old band. I didn't even notice that. That's funny. I like how the new branding is super simple though. I like that actually a lot. But anyway, good job graphic designers. Ooh. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. It's so nice. Anyway, moving on. I'll look at this later. But I use these colors in my husband and my dad's socks for heels, toes, and cuffs. And I'm having so much trouble finding sock yarn locally for them, like a Regia or something like that, that I'm probably just going to have to order it. So I figured I was already ordering yarn. It wouldn't hurt to get some base colors. Obviously, if I need a brown or something, I'll have to buy it. But these were on a really good sale. They were almost, were they 40% off? It was something crazy like that. And I just bought 1 of each color, so now I can use them for heels, toes, and cuffs. No, this isn't as hard wearing as it maybe should be, but you know what? I've got it now, so we're good. Those are my only stash enhancements. Let's move this out of the way. And let's see, on to what's next. Non-knit loves. Non-knit loves and life lately are just going to kind of blend right into each other right now. Careful. Basically because non-knit loves, I did shell out and I actually purchased a desk. And by shell out, I don't mean anything fancy. It was just one of those things from Target where you have to assemble it, kind of like IKEA shelving. Nothing high-end, nothing fancy. But I actually got a desk. And the thinking was that I've been talking about getting a regular desk for a long time, other than the desk I have now, which is like I think it's from IKEA. It's a drawing desk where you have to put up little flaps to make it level. Otherwise it's at an angle. And that really, I can't put anything heavy on here. That would not be safe. And I want to use my sewing machine. So I was already thinking along the lines of getting like a folding table or something so I can actually use my sewing machine. Well, with this whole virus going around, COVID-19, which, guys, be safe, be smart, wash your hands, don't hoard all the supplies, just be smart, please, and be kind to your neighbors who cannot be out in this. Because of this, my work is actually considered sending most of the customer service team home, minus the supervisors, like to work from home. So there's a really good chance I'll be hauling my desk and my monitors home for a month to work from home until the danger or the chance of danger clears, because, you know, there has been one confirmed case in Madison, but it was in the hospital, I'm pretty sure. I could be completely wrong. I apologize, but it's one of those things where you just have to be smart. So there's a good chance I'll be working from home, and I couldn't put all of that on this desk. So my husband and I talked about it. I got a desk. I really like it. I think it's going to be nice. It's still in the back of my car. We haven't brought it in yet because I have to assemble it. But when the work from home thing fades, if I do end up working from home for a while, I will bring it in here. I'll probably dismantle this desk. I haven't decided if I'm going to use it somewhere else in the apartment, I don't know where, or just finally let it go to a new home. We'll see. It'll probably have to be that because we don't have a whole lot of space. But yeah, and then I'll have a sewing desk. So that'll be really cool. I could actually have my sewing machine set up. So I'm excited about that. And that blends right into life lately. You know, the world is in turmoil. Everybody is. I mean, there are clear places that are horribly affected by this virus, and then there's a lot of us who are really lucky. And I'm especially lucky because I do have that opportunity to work from home if needed. So that's very lucky. We won't lose our income if we were for some reason had to stay inside and it was in lockdown. But that's kind of been it around here, other than I already shared Midnight turns 1 tomorrow, according to her adoption paperwork. Obviously it's estimated, but I will celebrate her adoption day and I will celebrate her estimated birthday, by golly. I am that person. Otherwise, not really a whole lot has been going on. It's been warmer. There's almost no snow here anymore. Like, it's basically gone. It's melted. It's weird. It's fantastic, but it's weird. I'm not used to that. It certainly got me to want to knit more, except for the fact, like I said, this week a lot of stuff was going on, so I was actually exhausted. Time change too. Thanks, time change. I was so tired. But with that, I want to get more into knitting. I really want to work on that sweater because I feel like it's fast enough. I could have an honest attempt at finishing that before I podcast next. We'll see. But yeah, I think that's everything that's going on. I'm rambling. Midnight wants me to stop so that I can spoil her. So I think I'm going to pick her up and spoil her for the last little bit here. Thanks for watching. You can find me, again, reminder, you can find me, I'm most active on Instagram as Victoria Schwanke. You can find me on Ravelry, lilwestie, the blog, woolymastodon.wordpress.com, Facebook, YouTube, you know the drill. Please swing over to YouTube if you enjoy my podcast and like this video. Share it with your friends, subscribe. All of those things make me and Midnight very happy because I just like sharing what I'm working on with the world and building a community. She's stirring up my hair, so let's move that out of the way. But otherwise, yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope that you stay well, stay safe in this virus-ridden world for a little while, and I hope to see you next time. Bye! Right up here still.